Could you be living next door to a psychopath and not be aware of it? Approximately 20 to 25% of the population are predatories. Yes, you heard me right. They're hunters. Societal hunters looking for prey among us. Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry Kerr McAvoy, and I'm a clinical psychologist with over more than 20 years of counseling, and I'm a narcissistic abuse survivor. My grandmother was a psychopath. I know most of us don't even consider women as possible psychopaths. They present very differently, but roughly 10 out of 1,000 men and 3 to 7 out of 1,000 women are psychopathic. So what is a psychopath, and should we be frightened of them? According to the DSM-5, they are individuals who lack a conscience, struggle with empathy, are exploitive, deceptive, and law-breaking individuals. But that doesn't mean that they're running around being serial killers like what we think of Ted Bundy or the Hillside Strangler. Most of them fly under the radar. They are predatory people who see the world in terms of competition. The world to them is at war. It's like playing the tug-of-war of Squid Game, with winners and losers, with the losers dying. They treat interactions in a very paranoid, mercenary perspective, and people aren't people, they're simply consumables. In the psychopathic world, we fit into one of 4 roles. You are either a patron, a patsy, a pawn, or an enemy. No one ever is on their side or has their back. They anticipate risk and danger from everyone. So which role do you play in a psychopathic's world? Let's break them down and look at each one. A patron is someone that gives them a benefit, like a leg up. They're a person who has access to something that they want. Maybe it's the lobbyist pursuing the politician, or a friend hanging out with somebody who has a lot of money. It is the person who looks for access to something that they want. Could be influence, money, sex, status, power. They cozy up to these individuals in order to achieve the status or the access that they want, but they never are really truly friends. It's a very parasitic relationship. Patsies are the fall guy. This is the target. This is the person that they see as a dupe that they plan to take down. It's usually the person they plan to take advantage of. If we're looking at a dating world, it would be the woman that they know they never want to have a relationship with, but they hope it works out for the night. Or it could be, on the opposite side, the woman who's pursuing the wealthy guy, hoping that he'd take her out for a really nice time, like a sugar daddy. It's opportunistic, and it's not based on an emotional connection, but rather on what they can get from this individual. The difference is the patron they need, the patsy they're using. And then there's the pawn. The pawn is a person that they simply use. It's the person who's the hanger-oner, or the one who really finds that their charisma and influence and their power are very attractive, so they just want to be the sidekick. This is the person they use to be able to pull about their schemes and plans. And finally, there's the enemies. That's the rest of the world. Anybody who they anticipate possibly has their own motives or possibly is working against them. An enemy is anyone who they're actively not using and they fear might see through them. And that's most of the world. So who are you in a psychopathic's world? Are you a pawn, a patsy, patron, or are you an enemy? Most of us don't spot psychopaths because we're not used to viewing the world from a predatory standpoint. We tend to see others as well-meaning and maybe careless with our thoughts and feelings, but we don't look at them from the standpoint of that they are out to get something from us. And as a result, we miss the predatory behavior, thinking that it's more innocent than it really is. So how can you and I get better at realizing that we've met somebody who's possibly dangerous to us? Notice if there's reciprocity to the relationship. Do they show empathy and concern? Do they only show up when they want something from you? Ask yourself what their motivations are to their questions. Ask yourself what is it they may be wanting from you. Relationships that are predatory or parasitic are one-sided. There's a lack of reciprocity. There's no mutuality. When you have things going wrong in your life, do they show concern and follow up? Do they do acts of kindness and generosity when there's clearly no benefit to themselves? Do they follow a moral code of ethics when no one's watching? What's their relationships like with their family members and loved ones? Is it healthy and supportive? Do they tell the truth even when it doesn't serve them? Most of us have a blindness to recognizing predatory behavior, and as a result, we don't recognize when we've met somebody who may be more mercenary in their relationships. So, do you have a psychopath that lives next door? If so, drop me a comment and let me know, and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss future videos on this channel.